What's up, everybody? Professional Wrestler Chris Wilde here with another instant reaction to what we just saw about, maybe an hour ago, maybe more than that. It took me a while to, I wasn't even going to do this. It took me a while to decide on actually doing this video. Let me see here. A couple comments already. The good box. What's going on, man? Yeah, so let me get set right now. Eagles tie the Bengals 23-23 in one of the most I'm still befuddled by this game. I really am. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about Carson Wentz because that's what everybody's going to talk about anyway. Carson Wentz, another game where he looked like a rookie. Let's be honest with you, or with me, or with each other. I am a Carson Wentz guy. Anybody that watches this channel knows I believe in the guy. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't know what's going on this year. I have no idea what's going on with him this year. The 2 interceptions that he threw were absolutely horrible. The first one was tipped, but it probably would have been an interception anyway. The second one was a bad decision and a bad throw. The guy is not playing like Carson Wentz. We saw glimpses of it, at least with his runs. At least he's showing that he's still mobile. But I don't know if it's Rich Scangarello. I don't know if it's Marty Morningwig. I don't know if it's any of the other offensive people that they hired instead of hiring just one offensive coordinator. But this is just not working at all, okay? It's absolutely not working. What's up, Jason Kitchen? It's not working at all. I can't – Stephen Joyce, what's going on? I can't tell you. Like, this is beyond frustrating to me. It really is. You have a team like the Bengals that – and I'm going to start with the offense, guys, and I'll get to everybody's comments here in a little bit. The Bengals have a shitty defense. There's no other way to put it. Their defense is bad. We saw what Nick Chubb did to them, and, of course, we saw Nick Chubb today. He's one of the best running backs in this league by far. But you saw what Kareem Hunt did to the defense. Miles Sanders, the first couple of runs, I mean, he looked great, and he only had 18 carries in this game. I don't understand that at all. A guy like Miles Sanders only having 18 carries against a bad run defense, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's what Doug Peterson is doing. Now, look, we can't help the injuries, okay? I don't want to blame too much of this on injuries, but when you lose Desean Jackson, when you lose Dallas Goedert, you're already down Jalen Reagor, Alshon Jeffrey, Quez Watkins. Like, these are – Marquise Goodwin opted out. You have nobody to begin with. You take those 2 guys out. Now you got Greg Ward, once again, who looks like the hero. Hightower had a couple good catches. They held him a couple times because he was getting away from them. So he played well. Deontay Burnett had a couple good catches. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, apparently he had some kind of injury. I don't know. But the guy has done nothing. Still no catches in 2020. Barely did anything last season. You talk about a waste of a pick, and I'm going to get to Howie Roseman in a second too. But still, bad decisions by Carson. Bad coaching. Offensive coaching has been the bottom of the barrel this year. I don't understand on 3rd and short or 3rd and long, even for that matter. 3rd and short against a bad run defense. What do you think Doug does? Passes the ball. On 3rd and long, he does these stupid ass screenplays that Cincinnati's keen on. They already know what's going to happen, but he does it anyway. He throws them anyway for nothing. It's mind-boggling. It's like, I don't know. Carson Wentz, when he rolls out, wow, imagine that. He has success. Because we've been saying that as fans for weeks. But they don't do it in the right positions. They don't do it enough. Just all around. I mean, Zach Ertz proved why I said to you guys, and excuse me for this adjustment, I think he needs to be paid as one of the best tight ends. He's durable. He's reliable. How Carson Wentz can miss the easiest passes and then throw a pass like he did to Zach Ertz in the 4th quarter, right on the money, perfect, just is baffling to me. So that's the offensive side of the ball, okay? We've got Carson Wentz to deal with. Also, and I just looked at Jason Kitchen's comment real quick and the God box. Offensive line was horrible, was absolutely horrible. Now, look, if last game against Aaron Donald, okay, against Aaron Donald and the St. Louis Rams, the Los Angeles Rams defense, The offensive line played great. You had Herbig at left guard. Matt Pryor went in at right guard because you had Herbig at right guard, Matt Pryor went in at left guard because Sam Malu went out, and the offensive line still played well. This week, for whatever reason, they decided to put Herbig to switch them. Herbig now at left guard and Pryor at right guard, and Jason Peters. Oh my God, Jason Peters! Look, guys, I'm 5'6.5". I'm 193 pounds. I could have blocked better than Jason Peters did today because he was absolutely horrible. Got put on his ass nonstop. That linebacker that they had on him, he made him look like a fool. Made him look like a JV player. He looked bad. But the rest of the offensive line didn't look that great either. I mean, it's just the simplest stuff this team is getting wrong. Brian Cruz, what's going on, man? Brian Cruz says, can you please tell me what's going on with the Eagles? Everybody's injured. Look, around the league, these injuries are piling up. The Eagles, besides the 49ers, and I think the Eagles might have more as of today, the Eagles are like the top injured team in the league. Again, I mean, I don't understand. But now let's get to this defense. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is what really bothered me the most. I mean, look, the Carson Wentz stuff, again, bad decisions, horrible throws, but at the same time, all the injuries, coaching has a part in that as well. This Eagles defense is bad. This Eagles defense is really bad, and it starts with Jim Schwartz. I'm telling you, the Eagles need to get rid of Jim Schwartz. They've absolutely got to get rid of Jim Schwartz. I've been saying this for a very long time. Since last year, the guy has been bad. In 2017, the Eagles were up by so much that they made teams one-dimensional. Teams had to throw, which made the Eagles defense pretty good. Ever since then, you look at the Super Bowl, okay? You look at the Super Bowl, and let's even go back to the NFC Championship game against the Vikings. The Eagles defense sucked that first drive, and then Nick Foles went off. They had a couple turnovers, and again, once your offense can do no wrong, it makes it very easy on your defense. But when your offense is struggling, your defense is supposed to step up. Jim Schwartz's defenses haven't done that. You look at the Super Bowl, Tom Brady had about 500 yards. Again, like I said, if they don't get to Tom Brady and sack him, strip sack, we're going to be talking about how bad Jim Schwartz is not here, okay? 2018, they get demolished by teams like the Saints. They let up leads against the teams like fourth quarter leads against teams like the Titans and the Panthers. The next year, they look great against the Patriots and the Seahawks, get humiliated by the Miami Dolphins, by the Dallas Cowboys, by the Minnesota Vikings. This is a Jim Schwartz defense. This year against Joe Burrow, who, don't get me wrong, I think this kid, he's got a hell of a future here in the NFL. He looks great. Joseph Gray Clausen, what's going on? But you let this kid in the second half, first off, in the first half, I'm thinking, okay, the defense came to play. The line was getting pressure against a Bengals offensive line that's putrid. All right. They're getting a couple sacks. Josh Sweat looks good. The DBs look okay. Avonte Maddox still doesn't look like he needs to be an outside corner, but whatever. Second half, Joe Burrow did whatever he wanted, man. He did whatever he wanted to this defense until the fourth quarter, where the defense kind of stood up a little bit. I don't know if it was that or if it was Burrow maybe being a rookie in the fourth quarter, feeling the pressure, not really being able to run the ball at all. And again, I get it. The defense is dealing with their share of injuries as well. Avonte Maddox goes out. Trevor Williams played great, I thought. I thought he played better than Maddox, to be honest with you. Brian, thank you, dude. I think Avonte, he's a slot corner, guys. He's a slot corner. I mean, he is not made for the outside. Tyler Boyd had a great day against him. AJ Green, not so much. Higgins, who, again, another guy the Eagles could have probably drafted, had an awesome day. This defense, guys, is going to be – it's not going to be Carson Wentz. It's not going to be anybody on the offense. This defense is sinking this team. It is sinking the Eagles team, and it shouldn't be. You've got studs on that line that just aren't producing, man. Hargrave looked a little bit better his second game back. Fletch just doesn't – I mean, Fletcher Cox he had a sack today finally. But other than that, I mean, what is Fletcher Cox, guys? Malik Jackson looked okay, had a horrible penalty where he absolutely killed Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow said, F that, I'm still he could be in the game. these linebackers, I did a video last night, and look, I stand up for that video. I will take anybody. I asked for Nigel Bradham, Clay Matthews, Wesley Woodyard. Clay Matthews and Woodyard are old as shit. I asked for these guys. Please pick up these guys. Darren Lee was suspended till week 5. Anybody is better than these linebackers that we have. The Eagles wasted a third-round pick on Desean Taylor, who has done absolutely nothing. He's a special teams player. I don't want a project guy. I mean, look, you're spending all this money on the defensive line, right? Why are you drafting a project player with your third-round pick that can't get on the field when your linebackers are garbage? Sean Bradley, who was hitting everything in the offseason, he can't get on the field. Like with these bad linebackers. I don't understand it. You know who looked really good today on defense, and not the Eagles defense either? How about that linebacker Logan Wilson, huh? How about Logan Wilson from the Bengals? Well, guess what? The Eagles could have had Logan Wilson, but they drafted Desean Taylor instead. It is just, and look, this isn't even my rant video because I got a rant video coming tomorrow about this game. But look, this is just unreal. It's unreal. And, you talk about Jalen Hurts, okay? Maybe the Eagles should put Jalen Hurts in there for Carson. Are you kidding me right now? You would put Jalen Hurts in the game? Please, somebody in the comments, and I haven't looked at the comments for a little bit because I've kind of been on a rant, but I want somebody to tell me why Jalen Hurts would be better in this situation. You put Jalen Hurts in the game right now as a quarterback, his career is done. Because, again, the Eagles have no line. Their line is playing like garbage. So he's going to be running for his life. There's no wide receivers anymore because you got John Hightower and Greg Ward as your top 2 wide receivers, okay? You got Zach Ertz, but that's it. Dallas Goedert's now out, and I guarantee you that ankle injury is at least going to be a 4 or 5 week injury. You put Jalen Hurts in the game right now, you're killing him. You're going to kill this kid who was probably going to end up being a good quarterback. I mean, look, and I know it's tempting because we watch the Kyler Murrays, we watch the Lamar Jacksons, we watch the Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Hurts is kind of like those kind of guys. But you put him in the starting quarterback for this team, and it's just going to kill him because he has nothing around him. You got a coach that won't run the ball. You got a coach that won't run the ball against a team that doesn't defend the run. Like, I mean, am I the only one? Like, I'm a fan. And I'm like, they've got to know more than me. I mean, I know you guys got to be feeling the same way when you watch this, right? Like, we're fans. This team has got to know. But these coaches, this is what they make their money. This is how they make their money. 6 figures, some 7 figures, these coaches. You don't understand the way that this is going? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Carson had a bad throw where Miles Sanders probably could have caught it for a touchdown at the end. I don't know. I don't know what to think about Carson. I don't want to see Jalen in there and him having the same problems. I don't, because if Jalen Hurts is going to be the future of the Philadelphia Eagles, you don't want him in right now. Let's talk about, again, before I go to some of the comments, let's talk about the way this game ended, guys, because, I mean, you want to talk about a frustrating game. You want to talk about just torture. I got to take a drink of this water. So Carson gets the ball moving. I will give Carson Wentz this. He stayed in there, man. He battled. He ran when he had to. He got that touchdown that tied the game up, running it in himself. I mean, he was an absolute warrior at the end of the game. He could have just packed it in because, look, I mean, the game was going so bad for this guy. It's a surprise that he just didn't, but he did. He stayed in there, moved the ball down. The Eagles' second possession of the overtime, moves the ball down. They get within field goal range, right? Matt Pryor, boy. There was a reason why. Maybe there was a reason why the Eagles weren't putting you in at offense on the offensive line for these couple weeks before Sonny Milo went out. Maybe it's because like you're just not intelligent. You're just not right. Field goal, easy win for a guy like Jake Elliott. False start. You've got to be kidding me. The one thing you don't do is move. That's all you got to do. But he does. So now we're up to, okay, now Elliott, instead of a 58-yard field goal or a 59-yard field goal, now you got a 64-yard field goal. 19 seconds left in the game. I'm just sitting there. I'm getting my phone ready. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to film this reaction. I'm going to film this reaction. It'll be great content, whether they miss or whether they make it. And if they make it, holy shit. And I think they could have 64-yard field goal. Awesome. Jake Elliott saves the season, right? Former Cincinnati Bengal. They drafted him, let him go, and he was been great for the Eagles. What happens, guys? What happens? Big balls, Doug Peterson disappears, and all of a sudden, I've got this coach that doesn't want to take any chances, punch the friggin' ball away. Are you kidding me? So basically, you're saying I'm good with a tie. Unreal, unacceptable, man. If Jake Elliott misses the kick, which there's a possibility, a slim possibility that he would have missed that kick. Now the Bengals had the ball at midfield with 15 seconds left because you figure that kick probably 4 seconds away, and you have zero confidence in your defense. Which look, I don't blame him for that, but you at least need to have the balls to have confidence in your kicker. You got to be kidding me. You literally said, it's okay, I'll take the tie. That's what you said there. It's just mind-boggling decisions this coaching staff makes. Doug Peterson this year, it's like living in the twilight zone. Like, did 2020 not having this offseason and this or preseason, did it completely – man, I'm out of focus like crazy. Probably need to stop moving around so much. Did it just did all these factors really – I mean, the Eagles were just – they're not the Eagles anymore. Man, let's go to some of you guys' comments here. I apologize for this poor quality here. Hold on. Move this. Oh, man. I'm going to go up, look at some of you guys' comments. Godbot says, Howie doesn't draft well. You are absolutely 150% right. Howie Roseman has missed on so many draft picks. I talked about Wilson. I talked about Davion Taylor, Sean Bradley. I'm starting to think, I don't know what Justin Jefferson ended up with, but the last I checked, he had 175 yards and a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. And you pick a guy like Jalen Reagor, who, again, I'm on the Jalen Reagor train, but he's hurt. He's been hurt. He got hurt in practice. He's got hurt last week. I mean, the dude is getting that injury-prone label already. He's never had 175 yards for this team or even close. So, I mean, you look at J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, no catches. I think he had 2 targets the whole game. No catches the entire season. This guy, there's so many people that Howie Roseman could have drafted. And look, Jalen Hurts, again, might end up being a really good quarterback in this league. However, you have a team, again, this Eagles team isn't a rebuilding team, okay? This Eagles team has put a lot of money in a lot of different places. So, like the defensive line. I mean, there's a lot of money there. You got a franchise quarterback. You got money in him. So you're not rebuilding. You don't need a Jalen Hurts yet. You don't, especially when there are players that can help you right now in the second round. Let me throw some names out there. Instead of Hurts, Howie Roseman could have drafted Jeremy Chin, Christian Fulton, Van Jefferson, who we saw last week, Willie Gay, or Logan Wilson, who we just talked about. He drafted Davion Taylor. He could have drafted Troy Pride or Josh Kelly. I mean, this is like unreal to me what he's doing to this team. And it hurts, no pun intended. It hurts on a couple different levels because the Eagles are going to have to – they don't have – the salary cap is already caught up to them, so they can't continue to keep paying free agents, okay? And Brian says here, can we trade for Odell Beckham? So the Eagles can't because they can't afford to pay Odell Beckham Jr. They can't. So that's probably not going to happen. Just like, Unique Ngakoue didn't happen. Just like they didn't sign Jadeveon Clowney. They couldn't pay for these guys. They can't pay for these guys. Jason Kitchen says trade JP. Nobody's going to take JP. They see tape of today's game. Who in their right mind is going to want Jason Peters right now at 38 years old? Nobody. The Eagles have, because of their poor drafting, they've dug themselves in such a hole. It's unreal. And again, give me Nigel Bradham any day over what they have right now at linebacker. The fact that Jim Schwartz just lets this go on. I remember hearing that Jim Schwartz had a ton of pull with the Eagles front office, that a lot of the personnel decisions were because of Jim Schwartz. Okay. Again, please show me why, or tell me why this guy would just go along with these bad linebackers, man. Nate Gary had a couple good plays. I'll give him that. Other than that, Nate Gary was horrible once again. It's frustrating. It's absolutely frustrating as an Eagle fan. This tie is as good as a loss. I mean, it's embarrassing. The last time the Eagles tied was against the Bengals, ironically enough. It's just, in the thumbnail you see Donovan McNabb, who said he didn't know the rules, which is why they tied. But this is just bad. This is just all around. It's a laughing stock. Now we face Jason Kidd says, why are we taking back? Talk about JP. So because they didn't want JP back. Let's be honest. They did not want Jason Peters back. The thing is, they lost Brandon Brooks at right guard. So instead of signing another guard, they signed a Jason Peters to play right guard. Andre Dillard, another Howie Roseman draft pick last year, first round pick, gets hurt. Apparently he was getting beat up in practice anyway. He gets hurt, so now you have to put JP there because you have nobody else because you can't draft. You can't draft. Howie Roseman cannot draft. That's why. I'm going to do this. Playoffs. This team is – how are we going to win a game? I'm wondering when we're going to win a game. If you can't beat the Washington football team that is putrid, they lost to the Browns today by a lot, who are you going to beat? Maybe the Giants? I mean, who is this team right now going to beat? I don't know. I can't. We face the 49ers in San Francisco. Next week, my immediate thinking was, before today's game was, the Eagles could rattle off 2 in a row here because the 49ers they're banged up. Well, the banged up 49ers put up 36 points on the New York Giants today because good teams with good coaches win games. They adversity. They when the backs are up against the wall, they realize there's nowhere else to go, and they move forward. But this team doesn't do that. It's just I'm tired of a lot of things, guys. I'm tired of watching this secondary that I thought was going to be good be bad. Nickel Roby-Coleman can't tackle. Why can't these guys tackle, man? I don't get it. Why can't they tackle? Jalen Mills wagging his finger, flexing over everything. No, you guys, your offense is struggling, and you let the Bengals score 23 points. Maniac Matt, what's going on? Says Doug is not the guy. Whatever we do good, Doug does the opposite. Here's my thing. I will always love Doug Peterson for what he did in 2017 because, I mean, what other coach can win the Super Bowl against the Patriots with a backup quarterback? I mean, not many. And look, Nick Foles actually had a good game today. He did. That's what Nick does. He comes in relief. And he plays well as a starter. He's got a hard time staying healthy or playing well. But Nick does what Nick does in relief, and he did it today with the Bears. I don't know if it's Doug or if it's this carousel of offensive specialists supposedly that they put around them this year. Instead of getting an offensive coordinator, they threw like Rich Scangarello, Marty Morningwig. There's a couple other guys. You got Press Taylor, you got Deuce Staley. Instead of just, and you know what? Let me tell you this too. Instead of just looking at Deuce Staley and saying you're my offensive coordinator now. You've been with this team for years. You've gotten every running back that has played for you to produce in some way. I'm talking Josh Adams style. Be my offensive coordinator. They hire all these guys. It's not working at all. It's just not. Is it Doug, or is it this game plan that all these guys are putting together? Because to me, and people say, well, Frank Reich, John DeFilippo. John DeFilippo was fired twice since he left the Eagles. Okay, Frank Reich is doing okay with the Colts, but let's be honest, they're not setting the world on fire. Okay, Doug Peterson brought the team to the playoffs in 2018 with the scrubs that they had in the secondary. He brought them to the playoffs with the practice squad at offense. I don't know if it's completely Doug, or if, like I said, if it's just this carousel of offensive people that they put around him. I don't know. I just don't know. It's in the past, we're not living 2017, where I'm tired of thinking about it. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. But you have to look, as far as coaches go, you got to look at a track record. You really do, which is why, like, again, it's not – you look at Doug Peterson's track record. Like I said, what he has done since 2017. Again, hurt players all down the line in 2017, hurt players in 2018, practice squad players in 2019, but they overcame all that. They overcame it. This year, it's like watching a different coach. And the only thing that has changed is all of the assistant coaches. Like the Eagles thought they were smarter than everybody and went with, instead of one offensive coordinator, 5 different guys. I mean, something is not clicking. And it's obviously bothering the quarterback too. I mean, we haven't even talked about that. So, yeah, Doug needs Chips players to win at least, and we had linebackers. Man, they really didn't have line. I mean, Michael Kendricks was okay. Nigel Bradham, I believe they brought in when Doug came in. But the Eagles linebackers for years and years, I feel like the last really good Eagle linebacker was Jeremiah Trotter. I mean, that's how far it goes back. Jim Schwartz has just never valued linebackers. I don't get it. You're in a, and I understand that, like, the league is a passing league now, right? Jordan Hicks Jordan Hicks is a good linebacker, but when he was with the Eagles, he was hurt all the time. All the time. He was one of the guys that was hurt during the Super Bowl year. I mean, I'd love to have him back now, but there's something mentally wrong with Carson. Yeah, I agree. But again, the brain affects your mechanics. It affects your hands. It affects your legs. And I'm not ready to. Carson's got to bring it on himself. Here's the thing. If you noticed, when plays broke down, like when Jason Peters was getting his ass whooped today, Carson Wentz found a way to get out and run. Something that he did in 2017 and in 2016. He got away and said, F this, I'm running. And he did it. I don't know if they told him not to, because they wanted to be this pocket passer, but he said F it and he did it. And that's the only reason why they were in this game. Again, his mistakes were some of the reason why they were out of the game, the interceptions. But I really feel like, for whatever reason, this coaching staff wants him to be this pocket passer. They're calling, the play calling is just so bad. Again, 3rd and long, and you're throwing these little screenplays that have not worked all game. You dial up the bombs when they're not there. You lose Desean Jackson. You lose Jalen Reagor. You lose Dallas Goedert. I mean, when you lose Dallas Goedert, this 12 personnel, and it wasn't working anyway before today, it's just not going to work anyhow. You want to have hope because the rest of the East is really bad. And I was watching some stats, like, teams that go that don't win a game within the first 3 weeks or so much percent not to make the playoffs. Well, there's an extra playoff spot this year in each division. In each conference. So that really has no merit as far as I'm concerned. But you've got to it's just frustrating. I mean, it's just absolutely frustrating, guys. I don't know. The rest of the division sucks. They do. I don't know what the score of the Cowboy game is. It was 16-15 last time I watched. Seattle doesn't really have a defense, and neither do the Cowboys. But the Giants, like I said, they got effing destroyed by a 49ers team that started Nick Mullins. The Washington football team got destroyed again by the Cleveland Browns. You want to have some kind of hope that, man, if they get it together. But guess what? You got the Niners, you got the Steelers, you got the Ravens on your schedule. You got Green Bay, you got Seattle on the schedule. I mean, it's not looking good, guys. It's not. And I know some people are going, well, at least we're going to get a high draft pick. Well, what is the draft? The Eagles can't draft. So what does it matter? As long as Howie Roseman's here, it doesn't matter. It does not matter if we get a top 5 draft pick. It doesn't matter. Not to even mention that because of COVID-19, some schools aren't even playing right now. So who are you going to draft? Trevor Lawrence? You can bring another quarterback in? I mean, Eagles tie today, 20. And I said in my preview video, go back and watch. I said the Eagles might tie today. I said that. One of the things I said in my preview video, and I'll add this in my rant video for tomorrow, that I have no confidence in the Eagles winning. I think they will win. I have no confidence in them winning. They might even tie. And they tied. Not saying I'm a fortune teller. I'm getting really mad at this camera, why it's so fuzzy. Or maybe it's just the White Claws catching up to me in my eyesight. But Rigor Mortis X, awesome name. Playoffs with no chance at winning or some top pick selection so we could fix this team. Like I said, Rigor Mortis. If we get a top 5, let's say we do, because it's a possibility right now. Do you have any confidence in this team on drafting somebody that's worth anything? I don't. I see J.J. Arcega-Whiteside every week running around the field, not doing anything. I see Andre Dillard on this out for the year. I see Derek Barnett, who actually had probably the best game that he's had in a couple of years against a porous offensive line, struggling with injuries. I mean, it's just it sucks because we haven't been in this situation in a while, right? We're used to this team doing really well and kind of making fun of other teams in their division that are having these problems. I'm at a loss. I sat there after the game and I was just tired. Just tired. Real tired. Tired of a lot of things. I'm tired of COVID-19. The fact that I look at our stands and there's no fans, it depresses me. It makes me tired. Because look, man, and there's another thing. If there were fans in that stadium, I think the Eagles win. They would boo the shit out of the Eagles by the second half, but we make it hard on opposing offenses. And the fact that there's nobody in there. And look, we hear a lot of people don't understand this. We hear that piped in noise, but the Eagles don't. It's quiet in there for them. I'm tired of this team, the bad decisions by this team, the bad drafting, the horrible coaching calls. There's just a lot of things. The penalties, man. Like I said, the one penalty basically cost us game by Matt Pryor. Bill Dietz, what's up, man? Tell me, what should we do? Well, if you're a spiritual person, I would start praying. I mean, that we can turn this around and win the look, I am at a loss. I am at a loss for words. I have no idea. There's so many underlining issues. As you see at the ticker, fire Jim Schwartz. They probably should have done that a year ago. I don't know. Because they have talent. Again, that defensive line, they're paying so much money to. Nothing, and they're not getting anywhere. Carson Wentz, I refuse to believe, even after today and after last week and the week before that he's a bad quarterback, and he looks like one right now. I just, if the only thing they can do, throw away their playbook and come up with something else. You can't beat the Bengals. And again, I said this in my preview video, the Bengals are not as bad as they look. They're just not. They've got some talent on offense. But man, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm with you guys. I'm absolutely with you guys. And we deal with this together. That's why I wasn't going to do a video or go live, but I mean, I know there's people out there like myself that kind of need to vent a little bit, or you know what I mean? Because look, we live and die with this team. We really do. And anybody that's been following the Philadelphia Phillies or the 76ers, like myself, know that we definitely need a win in the city. We can't blame the coach. We got to blame players. At the end of the day, the players actually play a game. I do agree with that execution. The players have to execute. They have to. We can talk about the bad play calls all we want to. At the end of the day, the players have got to execute. But where I blame the coaches is when you have a 3rd and long and your screen game has not been working all game. You're at crucial points of the game. You're at 3rd and 7, 3rd and 12, and you throw a screen pass to Miles Sanders, he gets eaten up right at the line of scrimmage. I mean, or you're throwing instead of throwing beyond the line of scrimmage, you got these little slant plays. Like, that's where coaching comes in. The defense, cornerbacks playing so far away from the wide receivers. You know, once they tightened up at the end of the game, you saw what happened, right? Cincinnati couldn't do anything. But the whole game, you play this zone, you play 6 feet away from these wide receivers. Like, that's coaching. That is coaching. They were blitzing. It was working. They stopped blitzing. It stopped working. That's coaching. That is coaching. James Kitchen, can I just – no, you don't want to be a Cowboys fan. I would rather the Eagles go 0-16 than ever be a Cowboys fan. Ever. Ever. Yeah, they didn't have a training camp, but nobody did. You know, the Bengals didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody did. So it's hard to – I kind of went that narrative last week, like, okay, the first 2 weeks are preseason, like everybody's – because the Eagles do have a lot of new pieces. Like I said, that offensive coaching staff is different. You got new pieces in at wide receiver. You got new pieces in the secondary. It's going to take a little while to get acclimated. But again, going back to Philip, to your point before, these players got to execute in the defense. These guys are not tackling at all. They're just not. Maniac Matt says, Schwartz has got to go after this year. I can't take him no more. I'm not a Schwartz guy. I do not. I agree. This is a guy that I wouldn't have brought back this year. I'm sorry. Because just look at the history, man. Again, I said this earlier in the video. The blown leads, the absolute demolition of Minnesota and St. Louis and Dallas, like the Miami Dolphins loss, like this guy, he's just not a good defensive coordinator, guys. I hate to say it, but he's just not. Do you think we should have kept Nick Foles? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Until today, Nick Foles was the backup quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Did he bring them back to win? Did he have 3 touchdown passes? Absolutely. Do I love Nick Foles? I got a Nick Foles doll like this big in the bar. Pictures of him everywhere. But the guy can't stay healthy for 16 games. We talk about Carson. Nick has never stayed healthy for all 16 games. He's just not. Look, if there was ever such thing as a closer in the NFL, which there's not, and there never will be, Nick Foles is that guy. He's the guy. He's that backup that everybody loves to see come in. As a starter, he's just not good. You look at Jacksonville, and again, Jacksonville sucks, and they're Jacksonville. But you look at Jacksonville, you look at the Rams, he's just not a good starter. He's a great relief guy. He's a great relief guy to get you through some games, but he's just not a starting quarterback. And I love Nick. Absolutely love Nick Foles to death. No, you can't. You change the quarterbacks not to solve anything because of play calling. It's not. you saw how the offensive line broke down. I talked about this earlier. You put Jalen Hurts in. Jalen Hurts, his career would start off horribly because you're putting this kid into a team with an offensive line that sucks so far, wide receivers that are hurt and banged up, a defense that you can't rely on, a running game that seems non-existent because of the coach. I mean, Jalen Hurts, you put him in, it's not going to change anything. It might be worse. And I think it's a lot of people – because, look, yeah, it's exciting when you see him in there, right? You saw him in there, come in, number 2. Oh, shit, Jalen Hurts is in, second play in a row. All game, you're going to be hurting this kid. You're not helping him. You're going to be hurting him. So, yeah, I don't think it'll help. I think what will help him is kind of just sitting there as the backup and watching and learning and, seeing all the mistakes, because a lot of guys, especially good quarterbacks, they see the mistakes, they're probably not going to make them. Do you think it's because the lack of what we didn't have, no kind of training camp, had training camp? Yeah, I think it has something to do with it. And I kind of addressed this earlier. The fact that you look at the Chiefs, you look at the Ravens, teams that even like the Raiders, I know they lost today, and the Bears who won today, or they're 3-0. These are teams that have the same coaching staffs, pretty much the same nucleus. Where the Eagles, again, all those new offensive coaches, you got a new DB coach, new players all around. I mean, secondary is completely new. The wide receiver is completely new. Yeah, a full training camp and a full preseason definitely would have helped. Wouldn't have hurt. I mean, that's not the sole reason for what's going on, but it definitely would have helped. Absolutely 100% would have helped. And then Desean, he brings up Desean. Keeps getting hurt. Desean Jackson. I'm not going to say he's garbage. I think he's still one of when he's on the field and when he's used properly, he's a great wide receiver. But yeah, he can't. He lasted one more game this year than he did last year. And I don't know what the diagnosis is. It was a hamstring. But again, down the stretch, they could have used a guy like Desean Jackson in this game, and he's not there. So now they might get Alshon back next week. I can see them rushing that. I just don't know, guys. I'm deflated. I'm absolutely deflated right now. I just wanted to come in here and talk to you guys because I do. This is therapeutic, man. Talking to you guys, it really is. Let's see. I'm looking at Phil again. Phil says our corner sucked. Yeah. Our corners did suck absolutely in the Minnesota and Dallas game. But they, again, they played okay against Russell Wilson. They played okay against Tom Brady. Like, the fact that they're good sometimes and bad the other times, that's coaching to me. It really is. And again, I'll tell you one guy that there's a positive I was really impressed with, was Trevor Williams. I know a lot of fans that have watched this channel have said to me, like, this guy should not be on the practice squad. He's a good corner. And he filled in for Avonte Maddox and played well. But we're just going to continue to deal with injuries, it seems like, guys. But look, that's all I got, man. The Eagles lose. It might as well have been a loss. The Eagles tie the Cincinnati Bengals. Go back, watch my preview video, see what I said at the end of that. I almost predicted that this was going to be a tie. And it ended up being a tie. Who would have thought? What a horrible way to end the week as the Philadelphia Eagles continue to let us down in the 2020 season. I'm ready to say that this just isn't real because this season, I mean, when you look at an Eagles home game and there's no fans in the stadium, it doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem real. So I'm going to answer this last question from Phil, and then I'm out, guys. I need to eat something. So in your eyes, what's the most important thing we need to do? Do you think it's our offensive line, even if we get rid of Carson Wentz and we got someone a better quarterback? So Pat Mahomes probably would have won this game, but he would have had a hard time winning this game today with that offensive line. Same with Lamar Jackson, same with Tom Brady. Jason Peters was getting beat so bad that there were times as soon as the ball was hiked to Carson, there was a guy in his face. It doesn't matter how great a quarterback you are. And look, let's not forget, there were times in that game where Carson got away from a lot of pressures, would be sacks. And rather he rolled out and threw it away, or he got first downs with his legs. Carson, again, like, you put Jalen Hurts in there, would it have been a better outcome? I don't know. I mean, Jalen would have ran a lot more than Carson, I'm sure. So maybe it would have been. But with this offensive line, it's just bad. The most important thing that the Eagles have to do as far as future goes, you got to figure out why you're not drafting well, and you got to change it immediately because it's killing this team. As far as like immediately, you've got the players you've got. You really do. You have to think of different ways to make it work. You have to. You absolutely have to. If rolling out Carson works, then do it more. If you're facing a bad run defense, then run the ball. It's pretty simple when it looks at that like that. It really is. Defensively, blitz. Don't play zone every down, it seems like. Have your corners pressure a little bit more. I mean, look, it's not that hard. It's not. Tell your returners to take more chances instead of waving off every single punt when there's not a guy within 10 yards from you. But that's all I got, guys. 23-23, the Philadelphia Eagles tie the Cincinnati Bengals. In other news, the Giants lose, the Washington team loses. And before I let you go, might as well get a quick update on that Cowboys game, unless somebody else here already has it. Cowboys up on the Seahawks. 4 minutes left in the fourth, 31-30. So Cowboys might win that game. And that'll just make this suck even more. But that's it, guys. That's it for me. I'm going to go get some food, try to forget about the last 5 hours of my life. And stay tuned for this rant video that's going to be coming up tomorrow. I've got a rant that, trust me, it'll be worth watching. Thanks, Phil. Thanks to everybody else that's watching, guys. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wilde. You'll have better video quality tomorrow as well. Thanks for tuning in. No matter what, win or lose, go Birds.